Yeah, welcome to the Naija Filmmaker, a podcast about Nigerian filmmakers, their films, and how we can build a diverse and functional industry. I'm your host, Selegot. On this episode, my guest is Nneoha Aligwe. She's a photographer, writer, and filmmaker. She also founded Africa International Horror Film Festival. We talk about self-expression, her creative journey, and her festival touring short film, Nneoha. If you're a new listener, you're welcome and I hope you enjoy. Hi, Nneoha. You're welcome to the Naija Filmmaker.
Hi, Sally. Thank you for having me.
All right, you're welcome. So, can you introduce yourself in your words?
My name is Nneoha Aligwe, and introducing myself, I think I'm just a human being, just going through life and um, expressing what I'm seeing through my works, either writing or film or photography. So that's basically who I am. Yeah.
Okay. Which one came first? Was it writing, photography, filmmaking? Can you tell us how your creative journey started?
Okay. It started with writing. I started writing, as a child,
Yeah.
and I was just basically writing because I that was the only way I felt people would listen to what I had to say,
Hmm.
around me. Yeah, so that was why I started writing, and it was also a way um to just have someone to talk to as well. To just it's just because of like my background and where I'm coming from. So that's literally why I started writing. Then from there, I got very interested in film because I was just that child that television was for unserious kids,
Yeah.
so they had to, yeah. So that discipline of just trying to make sure that we're always watching either news or church programs. So films and anything entertainment was just like, we were not allowed to say it. So because and nobody actually explained to me why I shouldn't watch films.
Hmm.
So yeah, and then I got, because like I'm a very curious person. I'm highly curious. Like if you don't explain why I shouldn't do something, I would want to try it and see for myself. So I started being very curious about films. So whenever all the adults have all gone to bed, I would sort of sneak out and go watch a film in the night.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, it really fascinated me how um people just like, as in, because I usually watch the end credits, and then it was just very fascinating that all those people actually came together to create a story. Because for me then, I thought stories was like it's just one person that has to just form it, because I'm a writer, like I write stories. But also having like a lot of people come together to form a story, I was very, very fascinated, by the art form. So um then I think but then, because of my background, everyone, there's like a choosing path for everybody already. So mine was lawyer. You know, my parents sort of wanted me to be a lawyer, which I did. I mean, yeah, which I
Did you
did,
go
and
to
then
law school?
yes, yes, I went to law school. I remember actually writing in my diary, when I grow up, I'll be a filmmaker. No, 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 not I'll be a filmmaker. I'll make films.
Hmm.
And I wrote that because I wanted to. I felt like maybe any of my parents might see it and sort of they would know what I actually want to do, because that was the point where I needed to pick like a career, you know. And then thankfully my mom saw it and then showed my dad, and my dad, you know, he he was very worried. He was very worried because he, since I was a child, I've always been, oh, you're going to be a lawyer like your father. So I was, that has been the whole plan. And then hearing me say that I wanted to go and make films, it felt very like I was not serious. But then he sort of, also explained to me that I should just be a lawyer, right? I should just, be a lawyer then, because like I'm still young. Then you know, when I'm done with school, then I can do whatever I wanted to do in my life. I
Yeah.
said, okay, no problem. So that was how I went to law school. And then I graduated 2017. Then went to law school, Lagos, and then I was called to bar 2018. So when I was called to bar, I went back home, and then I told him that I like I'm done with school, I'm done with law school. And then, yes, and then during my youth service, I also worked in a law firm, and then I've done my service. So really, right now, I want to like go pursue film that I already then I already had like an internship opportunity in Abuja. So after, like I told him, and he was very worried about me, to be honest. Like he was really really worried, because even then I had to remind him of the conversation we had when I was before I got into the university. I had to
Yeah.
remind him of that conversation, and he was so surprised. But he just told me I should. Like I think he just wanted me to also explore that. Like, but then I don't blame him. That's what everybody knows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his particular worry?
His particular worry is that there is no future in it. That's even number one. There's no future in it. There is no, like, financially, right?
Yeah.
Financially, there is no future. Like, to just go and make films, like, do you get? So that's where he was coming from. He was really really worried that I wouldn't be financially okay. But then law already, he was running a law firm, and like everything was already set for me. Once I finished from school, I come work. And then also because the profession is very respectable, being a lawyer, it's like a big thing, especially in
Yeah.
Nigeria. So also that prestige. So that was where he wanted me to be, but I don't think all of that fascinated me as much as making films did. So I
Yeah.
didn't mind. Yeah.
Okay. You finished your law degree, went to law school.
Yeah.
When did you make your first film?
I made my first film in 2019. Yeah, 2019. I was that was during my youth service.
Yeah.
I made a short film. Just trying things out, and then I just called my friends, and then because I had to save up for the film from my alawi and the little salary I was earning then.
Yeah.
And then, and so because of the financial constraint, and also because I really wanted to just try things out. I really wanted to. Okay, I think that was immediately I came back from the first film set that I not worked in, but maybe just interned for a day,
Yeah.
right? So then I had met a mentor. His name is Kago Idebo. He's a
Yeah.
cinematographer. I met him in 2018 after my law school. Yeah, I met him when I went for a film festival, and he just gave a lecture there, and I liked it, and that was how we connected. So in 2019, when I moved close to Lagos for my youth service, he invited me over to a set that he was working in. I think the film was Casanova.
Mm.
So I went to the set, and that was the first time I was actually being on a film set, and I was so blown. Like it felt like I was home. Like it felt like this is where I needed to be.
Yeah.
So, working all the crew members, everyone, it felt like a military zone. So I was so super fascinated. Then after that, it was just like a day. I just came to see what a film set is like. So I went back and then I wanted to make a film. I had never directed before. I never gone to any film school. All I was just doing was just researching on YouTube and just learning how to make a film, how to direct. So, I wrote a short film of just one character, like a horror film,
Yeah.
one character, one location, no dialogue, but to also have a very solid story. So I was able to create that with my friends because and it was also because I didn't have money to pay a lot of people, so I just had to restrict the story like that. And it's I mean, like, at the end of the day, I liked what we created then. So it's interesting. And then I released the film in 2019. The film is titled Facebook Friend.
Yeah.
I released it in 2019. Then it got into the semi finalist at I Am Africa short film competition.
Yeah.
That was December 2019. Yeah, so that was when I made my first film.
Okay. And what was the learning curve for you on that first film? Were there things you struggled with, or you pretty much flowed into the role?
I think one thing I really really, I mean, I can't really say because, like, I was working with my friends and they were actually people that knew better than me, right? So the cinematographer, was Efe Dosios. He was already working as a cinematographer. Then my editor Peter Oyenuga, he was already
Mm.
working as an editor. So it felt like they were also guiding me, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the things I struggled with was working with the cinematographer. He had, like, I think, like, it was just my first time directing, so we were just having a lot of ideas clash. I didn't know I had to, like, even explain to him, like, we didn't have any pre-production. I just called them on, I wrote the story on I wrote the story on Monday. I was shooting on Saturday. There was no prep, nothing. We just came to the hotel room with our equipment. I just started shooting.
Yeah.
So there was no there was really no direction. So it was, then that we started, putting heads together. So it felt like doing pre-production and production at the same day. It was very funny, but it was quite fun.
Yeah.
I learned, yeah, I learned how to explain my ideas also to the actor. Yeah, it was a whole lot. I won't say I struggled financially. The finances, I mean, like, I spent literally everything I had, but my friends were also willing. I think the only thing I spent was just welfare. But then the shooting and everything, they didn't really collect any money from me. So yeah.
Yes, that was a good first experience.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Nice. So you went on to, study at Ebony Life Creative Academy. How was that experience?
Like, I had made film 2019, 2022. I made another film, a documentary.
Yeah.
So those were like the only works I did, right? Because I wanted to make a film, right? That, like, there's a difference between wanting to make a film, like, oh, I just want to make a film, and also I want to say this thing with a film. There are two different things, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so before Ebony Life, I was just saying I want to make a film. I want to make a film, right? Oh, it was just like I was just fascinated by the art form. Oh, I just want to make a film. I want to just. But then being at Ebony Life, and um that was also the point I moved back to Lagos from Abuja. So
Yeah.
being at Ebony Life and experiencing our HOD, Daniel Orai, it shifted my perspective from I just want to make a film, I just want to make a film to what do I want to say with a film.
Yeah.
So so for me, Ebony Life was very, sort of transformed my view on the art form, right? So that was what, like, personally, that was the journey I went through in Ebony Life. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess one thing that happens at film schools is that you meet colleagues and you potentially move on to work with them. Have you, I guess, made the most of that since leaving film school?
Yeah, I finished in 2023, I think June. Then in December, I mean, like, while I was at Ebony Life, I had a short film that I had written. Like, we even presented it in class.
Yeah.
So, and then our HOD, gave corrections. So I went back and worked on the film, on the script again. So what happened at Ebony Life was, as I was there, I was already thinking about the people I would work with on the script. So it was very easy for me to connect with like minds as well. So after school in December 2023, when I now that was when I shot the film, and the film is Enyo Reflection. So I
Nice.
worked, yeah. So some of the actors and the crew were my colleagues from Ebony Life.
Okay. We'll come back to Anya, but I want to talk about, um, when you kind of realize the kind of films you want to tell. I mean, if somebody's looking at your filmography, they might say, you love to tell horror stories, but you also have your documentary that is a bit different. So, like, would you say you have the kind of stories you want to tell, and what is that?
To be honest, before Ebony Life, I would say I want to make horror films, right?
Yeah,
Before Ebony Life, but after Ebony Life, like, I realized there is no, like, I shouldn't be so boxed into one genre, right? Let me
yeah,
just so yeah. So for now, no. So after Ebony Life, I don't have any particular story I want to tell. So after Ebony Life, what I'm interested in right now is to express myself. So I can be feeling different things that I want to express. So it's more of what I want to express from myself than the kind of story I want to tell. I just want to tell stories that also feel true to me and feel true to really what I want to say as a person.
okay. So far, what inspires the kind of stories you've told? Like, what speaks to you? What has what has inspired you so far in the different films you've made?
Okay, I'm very inspired by life. So
Yeah,
for me, it's life. Like, life inspires me. I like to also throw myself into experiences. I like to experience people, feel them deeply, because I believe there's just so much that life is the art that we all have to tap into. So
yeah,
I am highly, highly inspired by life. So all my works are just like scribbles from my experiences, my personal experiences.
yeah.
Yeah.
You said you like to, yeah, experience life. Can you tell us, like, your top three experiences so far in your life that
Oh,
have, like, your, I mean, if no pressure, but you can even give one. But, like, what experience do you hold so dearly that you've had so far in your life?
experience that I've had so dearly. Um, so I'll say the one that I really hold dearly and the one that's sort of altered me
Hmm.
um is my father's death, right?
Yeah,
So my father died in 2022. And before then, I was working in Abuja. It felt like film sort of it felt like the financial pressure from society, from trying to sort bills. So it felt like the pressure of that I got caught up with that.
Yeah.
So after 2020, I had not even made any film, and I was just in Abuja. I was, working freelance writing, corporate, but in a corporate organization.
Environment.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I was doing in Abuja, and I was taking care of myself. So in 2022, I came to Lagos for a project, and then from Abuja, and then my dad passed. That was September. So I went when I went home for the
Yeah.
burial, and people around, everybody just kept saying, "Oh, that's as in because I'm the first child and I'm the first daughter, I'm the only daughter." So people kept saying, "Oh, it's time to that I have. I mean, like I have to, come back and work, like really work. They don't understand the kind of work I'm doing, but I have to come and start doing
Yeah.
something serious to take care of my family."
Yeah.
So that realization of, you know, my dad being gone, and so it felt like he just woke me up on on um what I really want to do with my life. So when I came back from the burial, I quit the job I was doing,
Yeah.
and then I moved to Lagos immediately, and then registered at Ebony Life. So I think it was a wake up call for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
God rest in peace.
I mean,
Let's talk about the scariest film you've watched. Which one would you pick?
hmm, I think Get Out. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
What was scary about it? Which part particularly?
I think you see that party, right? Like that party when I can't even remember his name, but like being, I mean, like imagine like a black man being in the midst of white men, and the way they were all and the way they were all looking at him, like he could feel the uneasiness in the air.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, for me that was very scary. That was really scary psychologically, not like to your face, but
Yeah.
like that really scared me.
Just the uncertainness of what might happen next.
Yeah. Like
Mm.
I could feel his nah, you could feel for him, yeah. So I
Yeah.
liked it. I liked it.
And how about the sunken place? How did you feel about that?
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
That too.
I mean that's a bit bleak. Like just basically not you can't see anything. You're just floating and yeah,
Hmm.
you don't know if you make it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about your mentor. That's
Cargo.
Cab
Go.
Cargo, and working with him as a collaborator on NU. So
Hmm.
like how did that mentorship shape you just before you collaborated with him on NU?
I'll say his mentorship, right? Even though I came to him for mentorship in film,
Yeah.
right? When someone hear film mentor, oh, the person is going to teach you how to make a film. It wasn't like that. So his own mentorship was, and I think basically this is what mentorship should be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone that opens your eye to life, right? He's not coming to teach you how to be a filmmaker. He's coming to open your eye on how you see life,
Yeah.
right? Because at the end of the day, even the kind of stories you tell, reflect how you see life. So for me, that was what the mentorship did for me, how it transformed me, and also it was, you know, like the mentorship got much more stable because I met him 2018,
Yeah.
yeah, 2018. But the mentorship got much more stable when I moved back to Lagos. That was 2023, and then during my Ebony life journey. So it sort of aligned. So just watching how he also experiences life, and it was
Yeah.
just always very interesting, to just talk about life. And yeah, so it made me wake up to life, like be hyper aware of my experiences and to pay attention, because sometimes we just move through life just on autopilot. You don't
Yeah.
we don't sort of calm down to experience, like whatever you are doing, like do it presently, be aware, look at people, just, and it's always so beautiful to do. It's always so beautiful, and it feels you up, like spiritually.
Yeah.
So that was what his mentorship did for me. So the film I had written, that was after Ebony Live. So like he was the first person I gave the script to read, and I liked the insights that he brought to the story, because it
Yeah.
was about two couples that go on a getaway trip, and then they meet another ghost couple, but then they didn't know that they were ghosts, and then at the end,
That's the reveal.
yes, they now see. But to be honest, like the story didn't really have that much weight, like to just go to the hotel and meet ghosts. Like there was not much weight in the story. So over time, we just kept talking about the script. We just like, kept talking about the story until it finally came together somehow, and if he had a direction, right? So
Yeah.
there was one day we just went to, and then also to give it some sort of essence as well.
Yeah.
So one night we were at Bogobiri. We just randomly just went to Bogobiri house at Ikoyi. So
Yeah.
we went there, and just entering the place, and this is someone like that we visit regularly, but being there that night felt different. It felt like I was seeing the place for the first time.
Yeah.
I was looking at the artifacts, I was looking at, the paintings there. It felt like and then it had, it was deeply Afrocentric.
Yeah.
And then the broken mirrors on the wall, it felt like I was seeing the place for the first time. So I told and I told Cargo. I just told Cargo about the possibility of shooting the film at Bogobiri. And just there and then he saw what I was saying, and we just started, drawing our short list that night there.
Yeah.
And then we went to ask whether they had, or a hotel room in the place, and they said yes. Like it felt like we just went there, and it just aligned
Yeah.
perfectly to the story, right? Yeah. So yeah, so that was how the pre-production started.
Okay. And what worked differently from your first experience where you were clashing with the cinematographer? What worked particularly well in how you and Cargo worked on this project?
Oh God, it was so amazing. I'll say amazing because I spent I literally spent 1 year, almost a year, talking about the story.
Yeah.
So even before the main production started, we had been doing pre-production, but on a story level, so that he too could understand the story. So that we could understand each other.
Yeah.
So it felt like I did 1 year prep. So the prep was really, really deep. We prepped really, really well for the film. So even on the night I was even on the eve of the production,
Yeah.
I was still making corrections on the scripts, and he was there with me, and and we were rehearsing the scripts together. So getting on set was like we are just coming to execute what we've been talking about for almost 8 months.
Yeah.
So it was just, it was so easy. It was really easy. And I liked the preparation. I liked the intentionality of everything we did. Like I really liked it, and I realized this is how a film should be made. It's like putting puzzles together, right? And
Yeah.
it feels very magical sometimes,
Yeah.
so I really
Definitely.
like the process of working with him, and that was like the big difference, the deep pre-production we did, so that we
Yeah.
could stay in alignment, you know during principal photography.
Nice. I mean, well done. Enyo is a really beautiful film. I watched it at Accra Indie Film Fest some weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah, I
nice.
really enjoyed it. Basically, the sound of the film, the sound design, and all that. Like, at what stage did you guys decide how that was going to sound? Was that part of your pre-production, or you figured that out in post?
Okay, yeah, that was figured out in post actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was figured out in post. So because of the frustrations of the film, and also the fact that it has spirituality and magical realism.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cargo introduced me to Gerard Eze.
Okay.
So Gerard is an artist. Yeah, he's a music artist, and he plays Oja.
Yeah.
Oja is an Igbo musical instrument used for summoning spirits.
Okay.
So yeah. So they call him Ogboja. So I reached out to him on the film to get a score on the film, um so that we are also playing around with natural cultural sounds in the film. So I reached out to him for the Oja. Actually, that was like the only thing. I just reached out to him to get me the Oja, for him to just get me the Oja sound. So I didn't really know he plays other instruments. He plays OP. OP is also a sound for the spirits. And then
Okay.
there is one Obaka. Obaka is melody. You use
Hmm.
it for all melodies.
Are all these instruments like woodwind instruments where you blow into them, or there are
No,
a range
different
of?
instruments.
Okay. So the
Just
OP,
different.
what is it? What does it look like? How does it work?
Oja is just what I don't know how to explain it,
Is it like a
but
flute?
yeah, flutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
flutes, or Oja is flutes. Then Ubaka is like um what you call piano.
Okay.
Sorry, guitar.
Okay.
Yes. Then OP is like his horn.
Okay. Nice.
Yes, horn. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice.
he yeah. So he plays all these instruments. So we now just talked about where each instrument will go, so that everything comes in, is coherent enough. So that was how we we worked on the score. So the Oja was used, whenever the spirits were around. Then the Opito, and then the Ubaka for melody and all. That was it.
Okay. All right. Let's take a little segue. Can you mention three random facts about yourself?
Random.
Random. That makes you you.
That makes me okay. That makes me. I love life. I love life a lot.
Yeah.
I like to think, and
You like to think, or an overthinker. There's a difference, right?
no, not overthinker. I just like to wonder.
Okay.
I just like to wonder. Yeah. Not like I just like to wonder on existential, questions and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, say three. Then I love I love music.
Okay. What some of the genres and artists that you like?
Hmm. Honestly, recently I really like desert blues.
Okay.
Desert blues. That's melodies from Senegal, Uganda, like other West African countries.
Yeah.
So right now, that's like my jam.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So yeah, we talked about your film getting selected to several festivals. You also started the Africa International Horror Film Fest.
Yeah.
Um, how was that? What inspired the decision to do that?
In 2020, sometime in 2020, I thought of the possibility of, having a horror film festival
Yeah.
because at that time of my life, I was fascinated by horror films. So, and then one day like the thought just came to my mind. Why is there no, um, is there, oh, no. I just thought, is there a festival meant for horror films in
Yeah.
Africa? And it was just one South African horror film festival. So just that's the only film festival, that celebrates horror films in Africa.
Yeah.
So that was why I just started the horror film festival, because I felt the genre is quite an interesting one.
Yeah.
Then, not having enough people bold enough to even tell stories that, dark stories like that, was, I felt we should have, diverse genres. People shouldn't, I shouldn't just be making drama or comedy because I feel that's what's going to sell or that's what people want to watch. You
Yeah.
should, yeah. So that was what inspired me to start the film festival. And it's been I started in 2021.
Yeah.
Yes, I started in 2021, and we've had three editions.
Okay. So do you have dates for this year?
Okay, so when I started the horror film festival, it was from a place of wanting to set up a platform for that genre, right?
Yeah.
And so after our third edition in 2023, it shifted from just wanting a platform for to giving people an experience of being in a horror film festival.
Yeah.
So we had that transformation, after the third edition. So last year and this year is just purely for rebranding. So the next edition will be next year.
Okay.
So currently we are just rebranding and trying to come up with something more solid and would enrich people's experiences at the festival.
Yeah. So we should wait patiently, and when the time is right, I guess we'll find out.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. But yeah, in the 3 years that you ran it, what did what were you pleasantly surprised by in terms of Africa and the genre of horror?
Okay, I was very surprised that people bought into the idea, because when I was starting, it felt like it's like who regards horror in
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so there was, so, and for me, sometimes I just throw myself into things just because I love to experiment and find new things. So I just did it. Like I wasn't expecting that we would even get any kind of funding or support, nothing. So I was ready to run it with my personal funds. But then, starting the festival and seeing people tuning, people wanted to partner with us. We getting getting funding support from UBA under Red TV. Like it was so, it was very, um how do I explain it? I was just pleasantly surprised, like
Yeah.
really, really surprised. I
Glad the
wasn't.
support.
Yeah, and then also filmmakers, they were very happy, that we are finally having a horror film festival, and then you would see that people, all these while, people have been craving for something different until one person just takes the initiative to start it. You see people tuning. So I
Yeah.
was just very happy that, so it's so as in, so right now the festival has gone beyond me. I'm not longer like, it's not just me carrying it. People, I've been getting a lot of, proposal from people that also want to join in, for us to create something, because at the end of the day, I'm not just the one that will be doing the festival. I have to
Yeah.
work with, a solid team.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful, honestly. Yeah.
Okay. What are the different ways that African horror can, kind of, I guess, separate itself from the, I guess, Western horror traditions and tropes?
Mm. Okay. Well, I used to say I used to say that even as a continent, we are also even surrounded by, like the life that is, that is happening around us. It's all full of horror. Like we
Yes.
literally grew up here. We grew up in the horror. We don't. So I believe one should be inspired by his environment, by the things that you are seeing. That's when it would actually feel true. I mean, like, and even the, early Nollywood, they were very, like, they were really scary stories, and they were inspired by what was even happening around us: Money Ritual, Bush Baby, Madam Koi
Yeah.
Koi. So all of this is like all these stories. I mean, like, if you pick the one that you turn into yam, if you pick money on the streets. Like,
Yeah.
we are all surrounded by horrific stories. I think that is how African horror can sort of stand out. And then even our spirituality
Yeah.
has that element as well. Horror in this sense is not the fact that it's something to be scared of, right? It's I think for me, horror transcends being scared of something,
Yeah.
like the is it jump scare? Like, horror transcends jump scares. Horror, it's about, the fear that every human being can relate to. So for me, I feel horror, it's about facing your fears, whatever it is. Could be spiritually, it could be emotionally, it could be psychologically. Everyone has fears. So for me, that's how I see the genre. So I think, and then Africa as a whole, like, we all embody all of these things. Everybody does. But for me, yeah, that's just how horror, African horror can separate from the Western. Yes,
Yeah, tropes. Okay.
yes.
Nice. What do you enjoy, from, being a filmmaker and also a curator, like with the festival? Like, what do you enjoy about those two things that you do?
Mm, what do I enjoy? I love the fact that, like, I'm able to also learn from other filmmakers, right?
Yeah.
Because I get to watch a lot of films. I get to really watch a lot and a lot of films that, like, just leaves me really, just makes me fascinated at what people could actually come up with. So for me, it's also about learning from these filmmakers. And so the creation, so whenever I'm creating it, I am thinking in terms of the filmmaker, like, what like I'm thinking of ways that the festival too could benefit, the filmmakers. So it's not just about them, what, just it's not
submitting
just
their
about,
films?
yeah, screening their film. So I'm also thinking um ahead, so what becomes of their journey after the festival. So yeah, so I really like being on both ends, because whenever I attend a film festival, like the last one I attended in Lagos, that's where Enyo screened premiered February
Yeah,
16. I liked that, I liked the um like the recognition actually given to filmmakers.
yes,
So yes, so like I really, really liked it, and it's something I would, like, I'm trying to learn also with the festival.
yeah. I mean,
Mm,
congrats on winning the Audience Choice Awards at Surreal 16 Festival.
thank you.
How was that like, showing your film to the audience, experiencing it with them? How was that experience for you?
It was very I mean, it was very intimate, it was very inspiring.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really, really inspiring because for
yeah,
CJ to be precise, there are, filmmakers that I really admire in Nigeria. I really admire their style, but I've never really understood why their style is different. Why their style in filmmaking is, it's not just like, you could feel the artistry in their films. You could feel it's different. You could feel the difference in it. So
yeah,
there are filmmakers that I've really admired for a long time, and having my film screen in a festival that they created, because I remember sending the film to CJ when the film, when I finished, I rounded up the film. I remember sending it to him, and then he was happy to have it in the official competition at the festival. I was quite honored, to be honest. I was quite honored,
yeah,
and then also getting to meet other filmmakers that are, like, you could tell that they are artists. So it felt like I've met my people, so I liked the experience. And then to even finally win the award,
yeah,
I don't think I expected that. I was just very thankful that my film was screening. That was just all it was. So winning was like, it felt like
electoral.
yeah. I mean, like, it felt like a very big validation to me,
Yeah,
for my work. It felt like a very big validation. So it also, boosted my confidence, like the confidence in myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. What are you working on? Are there things you're excited to explore?
I'm just looking forward to exploring, to be honest. I'm not
Yeah,
looking forward to, I'm just looking forward to exploring genres, stories, you know. Yeah, I don't,
yeah,
I think that's it.
yeah. And are you working on anything new?
Well, always working on something new. We're always working on something new. So yeah, sure. It's just
Early stages. Okay. All right. So, I mean, as a filmmaker, as a festival founder, there are things that can happen within the Nigerian creative space that will make, the way you do things a lot easier. So, like for you within this industry, what improvements do you want to see?
hmm, I'm just looking forward to improvement the story styles, like they just have more kind of story styles
Yeah,
and genre around. to have variety and not just one kind of story.
Nice. And how can people keep up with your work? Like, where can they go to know what you're up to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always on Instagram. I post some of my works on Instagram.
Okay. Do you particularly have any advice for young filmmakers? I guess you're kind of in the early stages of your career, but like, what has helped you get to this point so far? And yeah, would you like to share that with young filmmakers?
Well, when you say young filmmakers, I wonder what kind of young filmmaker.
Maybe
But
first time filmmakers.
okay, I don't consider myself solid enough to give any advice.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'll just say what is currently working for me. To experience life, to um really pay attention and be aware of life, everything that is going on around you, things that you are feeling, people that you are saying. Just really get to experience life deeply because I think life is our greatest inspiration as artists.
All right, thanks Nneoha for coming on the Nigerian Filmmaker. Really enjoyed this chat.
And thank you very much for having me.
We have come to the end of this episode. Remember to rate and review the podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Selegov Film and the podcast at Naija Film Pod. You can now support the podcast by clicking on the link in the show notes. See you on the next episode. Have a good one.